Are you thinking about offering an easy exit listing for sellers who are thinking about hiring you? And you're kind of wondering, how do you put that together? If that's you, you're in the right place. Let's talk. Hi, I'm Mike Cerrone with 2 listings per month. And what I'd like to chat with you about is a marketing approach that we take called an easy exit listing. I didn't create this thing, by the way. It's been around for a long time. But it's kind of, I'll just kind of give you my interpretation of it, how I do it, and kind of some of the thoughts that you should have as you're promoting this. By the way, this is not legal advice. So you should seek out your broker and or an attorney if you plan on doing this. I just want to give you some ideas on some of the things you might want to incorporate into your program. All right, so here's how we set up my program. I advertise that I have an easy exit listing agreement. And what I mean by that is if a seller hires me for, say, a 6-month contract, and they don't think I'm doing a good job, they can fire me at any time. They just have to give me notice, a written notice. Okay, so that's the approach, and people really like that, especially if they're an expired listing where they had another agent, didn't work out. But a lot of sellers like that. They like the idea that they have some control over this process. In fact, I haven't met a seller yet who said, nope, take that out. I don't want that. So that gives them some power. Now let's talk about some bigger picture. Some of the terms or ideas. So I said they have to give you written notice. So I've done that multiple ways over the years. I've been doing this for 3 decades. So some of the time I've done it where they give me written notice, and as soon as I get the notice, that's it, it's over. Okay. And then I changed it and I said, yeah, but I can't get my sign that fast. I can't get it out of the MLS that fast. So I say, hey, you got to give me a 24-hour written notice. I made it a 48-hour written notice and a 72-hour written notice. Currently, I have a 7-day notice. Okay. So I say, hey, you give me the notice, and then no problem, I'll wrap everything up, but it's going to take 7 days because I got to get it out of the MLS. I got to get my sign. If I'm currently negotiating with anyone or talking to anyone, I'm going to try to complete that and just bring you to closing. But if none of that happens, then yeah, I've withdrawn and unwound, and it's going to take about 7 days. Maybe it's faster, but I want at least 7 days. And most sellers say, fine, that's fair enough. And by the way, then if they say, I don't want to give you a 180-day listing agreement, you could say, I understand. You're really only giving me a 7-day listing agreement because you could terminate at any time, and within 7 days, it's over. So this is just a little easier for us than, say, coming and meeting once a week, every week to rewrite and re-sign that contract. We're just saying, here's a longer term that can be shortened at your option at any time. By the way, I want to throw that in as well before I forget. I actually write into my agreement that either party can terminate with a 7-day written notice. So they could terminate with me, but I could terminate with them. If you've ever had a crazy seller you just didn't get along with for whatever reason, then you have the ability to get out of that as well. That gives you a lot of power and a lot of confidence, and you feel good too. So make sure that you write your agreement both ways. And this should be an agreement that's in your listing agreement. Okay, so again, I'm not giving you legal advice. I won't tell you the words to use, but you should talk to your broker, talk to your attorney, write this up in the language that makes sense, and but you got to know what the idea is before you can write the language up, right? So you got to know what you want to do. Do you want to do it where it's immediate termination, 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, 7 days? Maybe you want to do something different, 30 days. I don't know. Try to have that mapped out in your head and written down so you can work with your broker or your attorney for writing up the language to make sure that's going to work. Okay. So that's what's going on there with the timing. I'm trying to think, what else can I tell you? Other things that people do is you could have a termination fee. Okay. So you could do it where there's no fee, there's no cost to terminate, or you could charge something to terminate. I've done both. I currently don't charge anything, but historically, I've done everything from 0 to, I'm trying to remember the numbers. I think it was $100 at one point, then maybe 250, maybe 500. I play with all kinds of different numbers for a termination fee. And yes, every once in a while, a seller would terminate and write me a check and say, hey, Mike, we're done. I need to go do something else. I'm not happy, or this ain't working out. You're like, well, why are you charging them? I don't know. I just thought that maybe that's what I should do because I had lost all this time and effort, right? You just got, especially the day. In the old days, we were taking our own our own pictures with digital cameras and the like. Today, I mean, you're paying professional photographers to go out there, and maybe you're doing a cleaning service. I don't know what you're doing with your marketing, but it may be costing you a lot of cashola. And so you may want to be able to offset that with a fee. Okay, that's how you would explain that to anyone who was curious, and maybe the seller themselves. All right, so you can do that. You can do with a termination fee or without. You can do a timeline of a certain number of days or none at all. Just try to think that out. What do you have to do to actually reverse back out of this? Let me go into another thing. You might be saying, Mike, why would I even allow them to terminate at all? Well, first of all, if you don't, they can terminate with you. Well, Mike, it's a contract. Yes, I know, and I'm not an attorney, not giving you legal advice. But in my experience, if a seller doesn't want to sell their home after you've been working with them for a while, they can make it pretty impossible to sell the home. They could stop letting you show. Right? They just take the key out of the lockbox, take the lockbox off the door, and throw it in the street. Yeah, they take your sign down and throw it in the trash can. I mean, they don't want to work with you. It's not going to work. Well, I'm going to lock them into this contract for a long time because I've spent money and time. Okay, good luck. Hope they don't take you to court. I don't know what's going to happen when a judge sees all that, right? Because remember, it's got to be reasonable parties. I'm just saying it can be very sticky. Do they have I'm not giving legal advice, but in my personal experience, when a seller wants out, it's over. So instead, what I recommend you do is turn this all around. I offered this easy exit listing. I can't tell you how many times the seller signed when I got to that part. They're like, oh, okay, well, as long as I can get ready, if it doesn't work out, like, you bet, give me a try. Here we go. And that's another phrase, by the way, to use is, hey, give me a try. See what happens. Worst case, in my current example, hey, 7 days and you're out. Okay. Or if you had a 24-hour agreement, 24 hours, you're out, right? Worst case. Why don't you just give me a try? So that helps to get sellers to sign and to get them to sign on that day. Now, if you're working with your friend, it's going to be pretty easy. But if you're working with strangers, you need to have these kind of things to try to help out. All right. And then you can advertise the easy exit listing agreement as part of your promotion to get sellers to call you or to talk with you. You can promote it at the listing appointment, which you definitely want to do. You definitely want to have it in the listing agreement, all written out, so it's clear. All the parties understand what's going down, what's happening there. And I think that we just covered everything there was that needed to be said about easy exit listing. Maybe I missed something, and we'll come back to it. But I hope you use this because it's really powerful. And don't be afraid of it. It's actually a great way to get more listings signed. Mike, what are you talking about? Well, I signed 21 listings in 30 days when I was quite a bit younger. How did I do that? One of the ways was the easy exit listing. I just told people, hey, give me a try. If it doesn't work out, you can get out of this really easily. And there you go. It was very easy. And again, I want to be honest with you. People did terminate. It wasn't that many. It was very, very few. But people did for various variety of reasons. They just decided they didn't want to sell anymore. They didn't like what I was doing, or they didn't have a conflict with somebody in my office, or something weird happened. Okay, but that was so small with all the listings that worked out great and I got to close, that it was totally worth it. Okay, so hopefully this has been helpful. If you like this, go ahead and give us a thumbs up if you like this idea of easy exit listing and this material was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them down in the comment section below. Just remember, I can't answer legal advice type of questions. I can't tell you how to write this thing up, but I can give you the concept of how it works. And then you can take that again to your broker or your attorney. All right. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks for joining me today. Take care. Bye now.